There's a place in the Russian Arctic where the ground hums. Nothing grows there. The wind never stops. Beneath the rust and concrete lies a sealed shaft, forgotten by everyone except the few who built it. Decades ago, a team of scientists tried to reach the heart of the Earth. They dug deeper than anyone ever had, but they stopped. They had to. The site was sealed, and the records vanished. What happened down there has never been fully explained. This is the Kola Superdeep Borehole, the deepest hole on Earth. While the US and USSR were racing to the moon, they were also racing somewhere else, straight down. The Americans started first. Project Mohole, 1961. The plan was to drill through the ocean floor off Mexico and hit the Earth's mantle. They made it 601 feet before Congress cut the funding in 1966. $40 million for a few meters of rock. The Soviets saw an opportunity. May the 24th, 1970, they started drilling on the Kola Peninsula, just outside the Norwegian border. The goal, go as deep as possible, maybe 15 kilometers, retrieve core samples, study the Earth's crust, beat the Americans. For the first few years, it went smoothly. The drill cut through granite like butter. By 1979, they'd broken the world record at 6 miles deep. Everyone celebrated. They kept going. By 1983, they hit 12 kilometers, the deepest anyone had ever gone. Scientists from around the world flew in to see it. There were ceremonies, photographs. This was the Soviet Union's moon landing. Then things started going wrong. Around 7 kilometers down, the rock should transition from granite to basalt. It's called the Conrad discontinuity. Seismic data had confirmed it. Every geology textbook mentioned it. 8 kilometers, 9 kilometers, still granite. The Conrad discontinuity doesn't exist, or at least not where they thought. Western scientists didn't believe it at first. The Soviets had to be lying, but they weren't. Then at 3 kilometers down, they found water, not underground rivers or aquifers. Water that had percolated through solid granite and pooled against an impermeable layer. Water that shouldn't exist at those temperatures and pressures. The Russians announced it. Western scientists said impossible. The crust is too dense for water at that depth. But the Russians were right again. At 6 kilometers, they pulled up core samples and found something nobody expected. Microscopic fossils, plankton, single-celled organisms, 2 billion years old, perfectly preserved in rock that had been under unimaginable pressure for eons. The drilling mud started coming back up, filled with hydrogen gas, way more than predicted. The stuff was practically boiling with it. Every major prediction was wrong. The textbooks had to be rewritten. But there was a bigger problem: heat. They'd calculated the temperature gradient. At 12 kilometers, it should be around 100 degrees Celsius, manageable. The thermometer read 180 degrees Celsius, almost double, and the rock started behaving strangely. Past 4 miles down, it became more porous, more permeable. Combined with the heat, it stopped acting like rock. It started acting like plastic. Drill bits that had worked fine at 10 kilometers would shatter at 11. The drill string would twist. The hole would collapse. September 1984. They're at 12,066 meters. A 5-kilometer section of the drill string twists off and gets stuck in the hole. They can't retrieve it. 5 kilometers of expensive equipment just gone. They start over. Branch off from an earlier depth. It takes 2 years. They hit 12,262 meters. New record. They're aiming for 15 kilometers. The plan is to reach it by 1993. June 1990. Another breakdown. Same depth. The drill gets stuck again. The rock is too hot, too plastic. Every attempt to go deeper ends in failure. They try for 2 more years. The Soviet Union collapses in 1991. Funding disappears. The scientists are told to wrap it up. Drilling stops permanently. Temperature, 180 degrees Celsius. Depth, 12,262 meters. After 22 years, that's as far as humanity has ever gone. They tried to keep the facility open, downsize the team, change the mission to studying the existing samples. It didn't matter. By 2005, there was no money left. They sealed the hole with a metal cap, bolted it down, walked away. The company managing the site was liquidated. The buildings started falling apart. Equipment was sold for scrap or left to rust. Today, the Kola Superdeep Borehole is a ghost town. Tourists visit sometimes. All that's left is that rusty cap in the middle of nowhere. The entrance to the deepest hole in the world, sealed shut and forgotten. Meanwhile, other countries tried. Germany drilled to 9 kilometers in Bavaria before giving up in 1995. Same problems: heat, cost, collapsing rock. For decades, nobody got close to Kola's record. 12,262 meters sounds impossibly deep. It's deeper than the Mariana Trench, taller than Mount Everest. But Earth's crust is 40 kilometers thick. Kola penetrated 1/3 of it. That's 0.2% of the distance to Earth's center. If Earth were an egg, we haven't cracked the shell. Meanwhile, we've sent Voyager, one spacecraft, 14 billion miles into space. In the time it took to drill 7.6 miles down, we reached beyond the solar system. It's easier to leave Earth than to look inside it. Why? Space is empty. Earth is solid, pressurized, and fighting back. But some people are still trying. In 2023, China started drilling in Xinjiang. March 2024, they hit 10,000 meters. Not deeper than Kola, but close. They're using new technology, learning from Soviet mistakes. Japan has something bigger planned. They built a $1 billion drill ship called Chikyu 20 years ago. The goal? Drill through the ocean floor where the crust is only 6 kilometers thick. Punch through to the mantle. Get samples from deeper in Earth than anyone's touched. The ship uses GPS and computer-controlled jets to hold position within 50 centimeters. In 2021, they drilled the deepest ocean hole ever, 26,000 feet into the seafloor. If they succeed, they'll answer questions the Kola borehole couldn't. The Soviets stopped digging because Earth stopped them. The temperature doubled, the rock turned to plastic, equipment twisted apart, and then the Soviet Union collapsed and the money vanished. It wasn't one reason, it was all of them hitting at once. The hole is still there, sealed under a rusty cap in the Arctic, surrounded by rotting buildings and scrap metal. The deepest humanity has ever looked inside our own planet. And what did we learn? That we were wrong about almost everything. That Earth is stranger than we thought, that water exists where it shouldn't, that fossils survive at impossible depths. We barely scratched the surface, but we're going to try again.